Welcome, everyone, to season 3, episode 24. I know we're at episode 89 because I know Alondo's counting. So I just
You know I do.
I
I do. I always say it. I'm like, hey, we episode 89 because last week was 88 keys.
Yeah, it says 89. We're almost at 90.
Yeah.
We're almost at 100. We're getting there fast.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to your 100 before you know it.
Yep.
Yeah, man. No, yeah.
We're having a party, right?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, definitely having a party.
Yeah,
it's all at Tree's house.
It's all at Tree's house.
Oh,
Tree house.
Tree's house. Actually, because I don't know what house I will be at the 100th episode.
I don't care which house you're at. This is the house we're gonna show up at, though.
If we keep going on this rate, what date will it? That will be in July. I might be in my new recording space by then. I mean, my renovation might be done. They're making good progress. They're doing the roughin right now.
The roughin?
The roughin.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like some kind of bird. What is that?
Well, in construction, you have the framing that does first, like the demolition and framing.
Okay.
And then you do the roughin, which is the rough cut in where they're putting all the plumbing and electricity in and everything like that. Like everything goes in the walls.
All the guts.
All the guts are going in. So they're under the house.
For anybody that's ever done Habitat for Humanity, you know what all these things are.
Yeah,
because
I've been in a Habitat for Humanity, but I've never done like volunteer work for Habitat.
And it's something I really want to get back into is doing Habitat for Humanity. I enjoy it so much, and just like working with your hands. And it's like at the end of the day, you built like a house, and then when they see it turned over, it's like the most gratifying thing ever.
We were gonna do one this weekend, but we're gonna be out of town this weekend. But I was invited to do one actually on Saturday, and we're gonna be in Richmond because it's for a funeral. But yeah, I was really looking forward to it. I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be out of town. Next time, hit me up.
Oh man, I was gonna say if you let me know where it's at, I would go. But actually, this weekend I'm hosting a paella sangria party.
Ooh.
I want to go to that. That sounds amazing.
Yeah. See, Tree, if you had come down, you wouldn't make it because it's too far after the. It's too far after the. Yeah. Hey, wait. Tree. For all the talk about you not coming down, I had decided not to go to the Toronto Jazz Festival for some similar reasons. About you not coming down. It's like, I don't want to deal with the drama. I was born in Panama. Again, it was U.S. territory. I'm a U.S. citizen, but I don't want no drama. I don't want to come back. I don't want to get questioned. I don't want nobody just giving me ish. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I was like, I'm just going to stay in the States.
So
I'm going to go to Seattle instead.
But it makes sense.
Yeah, I just don't want to deal with it. So.
Yeah, I was going to tell you guys, if you guys want to build a house, you can come up here where I am because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know what? Shoot. Yeah, I would do that. How is the house building going, by the way?
Like slower than they wanted it to go. We definitely didn't get as much as we wanted, but.
But aren't they basically working with all volunteer hands, though?
Yeah, so it's just the two of them. So it's, my friend and her partner, and then they have a little tiny baby. So she's basically glued to the baby most of the time. So it's really just him. And then like me and my buddy that I dragged up here.
I know. Only hands.
Only hands. Yeah. And we've been trying to tell them like, hey, you guys need to do like a barn raising party or something.
Oh, absolutely.
Like offer the local people like
get on that.
Chili
Shoot.
And like
look, because that's the way I'm about to make this sangria. It's gonna be made in like a big bowl and the whole deal, and it's like you just make like a huge amount of like liquor and whatever. It's like big punch bowls, and people just gonna go wild.
Like they'll get all the poles. The thing that we're struggling with is getting the poles in the ground.
It's cold as hell, isn't it?
Like they're big logs, and we're trying to dig in with like an excavator. They have their own excavator, and then we have to lower it down in there. But it's just like us and like shovels trying to dig berry poles, so it's taking like a really long time, and they were hoping to have them all done so we could start actually building like the base floor, but that's not going to happen while we're here. So
again,
temperature's been nice.
Oh, okay. I thought it was cold there. I thought the ground was cold.
A little bit chilly, but it's been chilly in the sense that the wind is a little brisk, but the sun is shining.
Like 10 degrees, 12.
Yeah, like between 10 and 15 degrees Celsius.
10 is what, 52 degrees?
It's 10 degrees above freezing.
Yeah, so 10 degrees would be about 52 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still been really like we've still got a lot more done than they would have by themselves though. But...
Cool. Well, I mean, good on you still, I mean, for volunteering to help. So you're doing something noble, helping out some people. That's cool.
Yeah, we're trying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been one thing after another, it seems. But
well, what can you do?
Yeah.
All you can do is do your best.
Yep.
Yeah, so we spent all last weekend working on the garden. So that was our big push, was trying to get that ready for planting. Because it's planting season down here.
Last weekend I hosted, not this past weekend, like did just pass, but we did the Kentucky Derby party. So I was like,
that's fun.
Yeah. So we did that. And I gave away 100, what was it called? The Sesquicentennial bottle of Woodford Reserve.
Oh, nice.
Yep, to the person who won. Congratulations to them.
Yay.
CCC. Yep.
Yeah.
And like I say, and then this weekend's the next party, and then after that, it's nothing really planned for a while. And then we may have to, one of the weeks in June, we may have to skip. I just locked in tickets to go to the Club World Cup in games in Seattle, FIFA Club World Cup games. So I'm going to go watch the game, Seattle versus Brazilian squad, Seattle versus the PSG, which is the French squad, and Seattle versus the Atletico Madrid Spain squad. So
cool.
So go up there and soccer it up for my 50th birthday. That's the plan.
Nice.
And I do apologize if I am nasally, because I did do yard work all weekend long. That means I kicked up all of the stuff and breathed it all in. And
I did yard work yesterday, man. I know exactly what you were talking about. Because remember that one time I was really sick and I was like half thinking about not doing the podcast, and it was because of yard work. Shoot, so yesterday did it again, kicked up all the stuff, and I was like, man, I was hurting this morning. I felt so tired, and I know it came from
most of the day most of the time this weekend was digging, but I did blow out the garden with my blower, and that kicked everything up. And then I mowed too, which that kicks everything up.
And everything right now, I mean, all the blooms are still going. Like my bush on the side of the house, it's like little white blooms everywhere. And I was trimming it back. Bees, it's just everywhere because they were feeding off all that pollen in the.
We have a gigantic blackberry bush that has so many flowers on it, which means there's gonna be so many berries. So that was one of the things last weekend that we got was we got cattle panels, the big steel.
What's a cattle panel?
So like they're big steel like wire fencing that you can use to lock in cattle. Like they have hog panels and cattle panels. Anyway, cattle panels, they're blocking cattle. So they're big, but they're bendable and flexible. So rather than using it for cattle, we just use it as trusses or whatever, or trellises over the blackberry bush, and then we're gonna net it so that way you can still walk underneath it and get in. Because last time we used PVC pipe and did it, and the problem with that is that the blackberry bush outgrew that little. So we got 16-foot big stuff, so we could fit the big blackberry bush in it.
Nice.
Keep the birds out.
Oh, wait, I forgot the big news this weekend. I had to catch a chicken.
Oh, nice.
What?
Completely forgot about this. Yeah, my neighbor's chickens got into my backyard. They kept getting in other people's backyards, and then it got in my backyard, and it was like trying to set up like a little nest and everything. And they're going out there, and you got to see me just run around. You got to see me running around catching the chicken, but it was my neighbor's chicken, and then I guess they were out of town or something, and didn't realize the chickens had gotten away. Yeah. So anyway, I got it cornered, and then so me and the neighbor we caught it and everything and got it back. But I was out there chasing a chicken. So,
okay, but the chicken chose you. Isn't this like the chicken distribution system? It was making a nest in your backyard, so like
it did choose me. It was like I choose you, Pikachu, and I was like
exactly.
I mean, look, I could have just kept my mouth quiet and then had eggs, been good, but
exactly.
Fun facts: there are birds on Roshar, and they're all chickens. Stormlight. So speaking of chickens,
sure? They're not crabs.
They gotta evolve. They gotta evolve.
Crabs. They haven't evolved yet. Are they birds with like crab hands?
They're chicken crabs.
Only hands. Only hands chickens.
They're chickasee.
Claw hand chickens.
Only hens.
Chickasee.
Only hens. Yes. Now there's a new one you gotta draw.
Only hens.
Oh my god.
Get that logo together, please, and quickly. Only hens.
I'm pretty sure that already exists.
I mean, that is
like all
that
the
is cross genre.
People that love their chickens, I'm sure there's
that is cross genre. Tree, you put an Only Hens logo on a shirt. I guarantee you, people will like just come out the woodwork for that joke.
100% that will sell.
I mean, that just is cross genre. You guys are ridiculous. Because we have good ideas. That's why we're ridiculous. We're ridiculous because we give you all these ideas. Speaking of which, I've been wanting to come back to you about the idea I have for what I want you to draw for me. So you get a chance.
Yeah, we will circle back to that in June, because when I come back from this trip, I'm only home for like 5 days, and then I'm going to Aruba for a week.
Aruba.
There is an Only Chicken shirt on Google.
So I'll be back in June, and we can talk about it. And I'm also moving in June and July.
Oh, really?
So I'm moving out of my grandparents into my dad's house. Yay!
Very good. Only
it's like one of those adjacent moves. Not quite up yet, but adjacent.
That's cool.
It's kind of a surprise move. Like, I knew my grandparents were moving out in 2 years. They planned to sell the house, but they've been on like one of those waiting lists to get into like this retirement home thing. So they finally called like right before I left for this trip, and we're all kind of like, oh crap.
Oh wow!
So they can like officially move in July, but we don't. Well, like we'll probably still stay in the house till like they sell it, and we don't know when that's gonna happen. But like I'll probably start slowly moving my stuff like over to my dad's house. So
gotcha.
I don't know where I'll be in June and July, but I should have at least some time to work on like a painting or something.
Cool. Well, again, I got thoughts. I got ideas.
Yes.
That can be movie can be really scary, and so can a chapter called Fear. So chapter 63.
We're not just talking about
segues. All right.
Oh wait, that's the other. Did we talk about that mispronunciation? That was a thing that I used to hear a bunch of mispronunciations, but it's like the epitome. It was Segu. I used to hear Segu, and then Sieg. People they were like Sieg, and I was like, what?
Is that like
okay. Yeah, it's like the epitome thing, but yeah. Sieg and Segu.
Interesting. Segu kind of makes more sense. If you hadn't heard the word said, but you were reading it,
I guess.
Sense.
Yeah.
We do have a bitograph.
Yes.
I wish to sleep. I know now why you do what you do, and I hate you for it. I will not speak of truths I see. 140 seconds pre-death, the Shen sailor left behind his crew reportedly for bringing them ill luck. Sample largely useless.
It sounds like Pirates of the Caribbean where they left Jack Sparrow behind on the island.
The sample is useless.
Useless. You're useless.
Completely useless. So Fear. We're still with Kaladin. We left off with Kaladin, doing the whole entire Parshendi armor thing, and now he's telling Leighton to make carapace armor for every member of the bridge crew, except for Shen.
Me for 5 people, but then he was like, "No, we're making it for everybody."
Except for Shen, because Shen won't wear that. Shen won't do that.
Shen is getting a raw rap right now. He's not able to participate. He's getting like watching his co-brethren getting defiled. Essentially, he's getting a raw rap all around.
Little Jimmy getting turned into a armor and shield. It's a rough.
This is a rough thing for him all around. He's
like, that's my grandma, dude. Like, that's not cool.
Exactly,
not cool. Like, just not cool. But they're doing it. Yeah. Also, they're practicing the spear in this chapter. Kaladin observes. He goes and watches the spear practice a little bit and sees that Moash is getting really skilled with the spear. So he's like, and he goes and has a little conversation with Moash about why are you so serious about planning this and everything like that, and wants to know if it's for vengeance or revenge. And he's like, no, it's for vengeance, but I'm not gonna tell you who it's for.
Murder. Yeah. Murder. He's on that murder train. I was like, what?
He wants to kill someone.
Oh man. Yeah. He's like, I was kind of off the murder trip, but now I'm kind of back on it.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna keep it to myself. He's like, I'll tell you one day. And I'm like, oh, you don't sound sus at all. This guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, and also does not salute. He does not salute Kaladin.
No.
The only people. It was noted that he was the only person. Now Kaladin was like, oh, it made him feel more comfortable. But I was like, everybody else salutes, and he's the only one who doesn't.
He was one of the first ones like against Kaladin. Like, remember, like he was like one of the naysayers in the beginning.
Sorry, this guy is sus now. He is sus in my book right now. He's totally sus.
I agree with you.
Okay. Oh my God. And by the way, and I had said this before the podcast, and Tree made me commit to saying it again. So I have read enough of these books. I mean, I talk about like Sanderson books. I'm just talking about like these type of books, like, fantasy, sci-fi, whatever kind of books. That I start paying attention to characters as you get closer and closer to the end, because this is where like some weird stuff goes down. Either it's like weird betrayal, or somebody comes up and they become like the super human person. It does like super amazing things, like Kaladin, basically. I mean, but I'm starting to pay attention to everybody's idiosyncrasies now, because I'm like, it's getting close. So I'm like, I'm waiting. So I'm like super honed in on everybody's things. So I mean, this Moash stuff, I'm probably like, hyper analyzing, but it's because it's getting close to the end of the book, and I'm like, I'm paying attention to everything. I'm like, that Joker, he rubbed his nose the wrong way. I mean, it's that kind of thing. I'm starting to pay attention to all the details. So, not saluting. He's about that murder.
Mm-hmm. It's about that murder.
Oh wait, and we're talking secret murder. He's not even like telling. I mean, everybody else is like divulging stuff. We still don't know his background.
Yeah,
he's still like ambiguous about his background and stuff. I'm like, man,
he's a big Ziggy Marley fan. He's just out on the streets. They call it murder.
Mm-hmm.
Kaladin.
sus.
Yeah, Moash got some secrets, I think.
Yeah.
He still doesn't like that authority.
He's among us.
Bucking the authority. Respect my authority. Don't give any authority to anybody.
Oh yeah, he's definitely he's not paying respect to the throne.
Nope.
No.
Mm-mm.
So later in the chapter, Kaladin and Rock, they discuss their plans of escape, and like how they're going to go about it and things like that. And their method of trying it, there's a lot of holes in it, and they admit to that, but they're grasping at straws here. Like, we're not going to last forever with this new plan that we're all going to have to run out there and be shot at every single time we go out. Like, we have to get out of here fast. So they're kind of throwing things together and kind of haphazardly trying to plan a plan, but it's out of necessity and not out of like careful and consideration, because they don't have time.
They're flying by the seat of their pants.
They'll all be dead
soon. And it's like they're trying to avoid the inevitable here. But they have like no end game whatsoever, and it's so obvious. And Kaladin knows it's like they're going to get whittled down to like the numbers of their numbers are going to just get decimated eventually. I mean, all it takes is just like a couple deaths a week. I mean, it's not sustainable. So,
right.
I don't know. Yeah. It made it sound like a couple episodes ago, maybe 3 or 4 episodes ago, like he had a plan, and now it's like looking like he really didn't have a plan. He had an idea of a plan.
He had a concept of a plan.
Yeah.
There it is. Concept of a plan. Thank you, Tree.
Concept of a plan.
Concept of a plan.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's what you want to hear.
10%. I'm 10% there. All right. It's not 1. I'm 10%. All right.
That's right. 10%.
We'll figure it out along the way. All right.
Oh, absolutely. That's what I like to hear. Yep. Making it up as you go along. Yeah. Always a winner.
Yeah. So also, this is where Tef comes up to Kaladin and asks him to, help practice with the rest of the bridgemen. But Kaladin's like, nah, I can't. I'm declining. Yeah, and he admits that in the past he's failed his men in different stages of life, and he's failed before, and it bothers him. Like, and he's the reluctant leader, if that makes sense. I think that's kind of the role Kaladin's almost playing. I mean, he understands he needs to be the leader and understands that he's rising to this occasion, and someone needs to do it, and he's the man to do it because they all look up to him. But he doesn't want to be. I don't think Kaladin wants to be that guy.
Oh, of course not.
He's definitely a reluctant leader.
He's a reluctant leader.
But he always ends up in a leadership role, so he should just be used to it by now.
Yeah, because he's as what the Neo. He's beginning to believe.
Yeah, this is such a book trope. I mean, it happens in so many books where it's like somebody's like, I don't want to be the leader, and just like the one that doesn't want to be the leader is the one that pulls Excalibur. Look at this! I got me a butter blade. It's like, okay, good for you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and that's pretty much this chapter. I mean, it's a really short chapter. It's just them training and and the Moash scene, Teft, and Rock. And that's pretty much the gist of it. And that they're all going to be running with Carapace.
Yeah.
Right.
I just learned in this episode or this chapter that Rock has red hair.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
He said something about he raised his red eyebrows or something.
Yeah.
Like, oh my gosh, ginger.
I thought he was brunette this whole time. I thought this guy had brown hair the whole time.
That just goes to we need more explanations. Books, Brandon Sanderson. I need more details. Want to know what color their skirts are and how much they smooth them.
So anything from this chapter before we move to chapter 64, A Man of Extremes?
No, I didn't have anything else. Like you said, it was a short chapter. So.
Okay. A Man of Extremes. All right. They come from the pit. 2 dead men, a heart in their hands. I know that I have seen true glory. 13 seconds pre-F, a rickshaw puller of all people. So... They come from.
We haven't seen a rickshaw in this book yet, so
no. Yeah.
Which I paid attention to. I was like, rickshaw. What?
What?
Rickshaw. But then it reminds me about the fact that we've actually seen a part of this world that is more aligned with Earth.
Yeah.
During we know the interludes, and I was like, "Oh, okay. So maybe the rickshaw thing is in the near Earth area of this
Shinovar."
So we know Shinovar is very much more like Earth and less desolate. And we do know little bits about there's different regions of this world, like the Horn-Eater Peaks, which are very, very high altitude and have a bunch of pools, I think is they're how described. There's lots of like different regions of this world, just like a regular planet that have all sorts of that there might be different cultures too. There could be a rickshaw, just not here on the Shattered Plains. That would be kind of weird to have a rickshaw on the Shattered Plains in the middle of a battle camp. Maybe in Cabranth, where Yasna and Shallan are, but
maybe.
But we start out with Dalinar and Avani, who are still continuing to see each other in secret. They're in their secret meetings. They're
to be that secret because they said they think people are already chit-chatting about them.
Yep.
So must not be that secret.
Yeah. And
I want them to kiss.
Yeah.
Kiss now.
They already kissed.
Yeah.
Oh, they did? I missed it.
Did. Yeah.
Yeah, they kissed she put one on him.
Yeah. It was a couple chapters ago. Yeah.
I was probably excited at the time, but it was too long ago and I needed it to happen more.
Need to happen more. Well, Dalinar tells Avani here he's interested in courting her. He always was. He's like, I was always interested in courting you, but I deferred to Galvalar because my brother showed interest, and I was like, okay, well, he's, the future king, so. But the king wants, the king gets, so I just stepped aside. And
this reminds me when I was dating. It's like me and my friend, we were like got together for some drinks, and this is when we were both on Tinder, and my boy is like, yeah, I met this really nice girl, blah, blah, blah. I've been talking to her, yada, yada, yada. She sounds really cool. She does this and this. She has a really interesting name. And I was like, interesting name. And I was like, is her name blah, blah, blah? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yeah, I was hollering at that same girl too. So I'm going to back off. I was like, because it sounds like you were talking to her longer than I was talking to her. So I backed off entirely. I was like, nope, dude, I don't play that. Nah, I don't.
Yeah.
It's the bros before
It's always a weird thing for me for like as the girl on that side because like it's kind of like girl's choice, right? Like there's like buddies that are like, no, I'll back off, or no, she's mine. It's like it's really not your choice. It's the girl's choice.
Well, it is. Right? I mean, but in that situation,
yeah, it is very situational specific. Like,
yeah,
if you did just start talking, then like,
because I mean, it's not like she and I were like, talking a long time or something. It was still like early on, so I was like,
yeah, that's fair.
I was like, I mean, if I stop talking to her, it's not like she's gonna go like cry in her milk. She'll be fine.
But situations like this with Dalinar and his brother and Navani, like it seems like if Dalinar hadn't pulled back, Navani would have chose him.
Yeah.
Right, but he just made the decision for her, and that's kind of what I was like, what the heck, Dalinar? But
the Navani pulls out, then came into the picture, and was all Dalinar saw. So
of course, the whole time that thing happens, all I can think of is Kill Bill, when you don't know what her name is, and they did that over her name. That's all I could think of was that, and you don't hear her name until later, the second movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
But since Dalinar's memory's blocked of her, every time her name's mentioned, he just hears. Yeah. Just air noises.
I was gonna make another obscure reference to BoJack Horseman. There was a whole thing with this lady that has BoJack's half sister, and the whole time they draw her with their face obscured, like with scribbles, and you don't see it. Mm. It reminded me of that too. That was the other one. So yeah.
All
right.
Yep. So Navani thought Dalinar hated her because of how cold he was towards her.
Oh, I like how he's asking her questions about his wife because he doesn't remember anything about her, and he's like all trying to be like, "So what was you liked about her?"
Yeah,
and all this kind of stuff, because he's like, he has no clue.
Yeah,
he is like obviously wiped everything. That's so he's like, I don't remember squad douche about this lady.
And Navani is using it as an opportunity to be like, this is how long I've had these strong feelings for you, right? And not really helping him out by telling him really anything about his wife.
Nope. No.
Yeah. And they have a nice conversation. I mean, so Navani does tell Dalinar that his wife had a perfect match for him as far as temperament goes, and this is also where Dalinar reveals that he's keeping a tight rein on himself because he doesn't want to revert back to his old self. He's trying to live by the codes. And during the middle of this conversation, it is interrupted with the alarm sound that a chasm spine has been located, and it's the tower. And
because they could tell by the type of alert that went off.
Horns, it's like they've never won the tower. The tower is the largest plateau in all the Shattered Plains. It is like the most epic battlefield, and they've never won. And Dalinar's like, this might be our chance. Like, we can actually finally crush the Parshendi and win the war. So Dalinar's like,
what happened the last time that they went to that particular the tower? What happened the last time?
They mentioned it before that it was in the distance, but they also mentioned it here that every single time
did he not get there in time or something? I can't remember, but I feel like
there was something with the tower.
Yeah, didn't get there in
time. I can't remember, but it definitely was happening in an earlier chapter where they went for it, but it wasn't successful.
It was too late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But every time they've actually gotten there in time, they've been turned back too. Like, they've never been able to actually attack the tower successfully.
But I just know there was something happened of note. I can't remember what it was though.
Yeah. I know that they were showing a map, like when Dalinar was talking to the other high princes and trying to get them to team up with him. They were looking at a map, and they like specifically mentioned the tower on the map. But I don't know if they talked about anything specifically in relation to the tower, like events or anything that happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, and Dalinar uses this opportunity to make a dual run with Sadeas because he thinks at this point they can destroy the Parshendi, and if the Parshendi bring the same amount of troops they normally do, and by the scout reports, there should be enough force to just end the war. Like, at this point, if they have a crushing defeat here or victory, crushingly defeat the Parshendi, this would be the end of the war. Like,
yeah, but I mean, and of course, this comes back to haunt him, but Adolin is all about this idea.
Yes.
He is 100%. Like on board. He's like, absolutely. He's like, this is our chance. We're going to come in here. We're going to slaughter them. We're going to like basically decimate like a half of their forces that they got left. So he is like super on board with this, and it shocked me that that Dalinar was like, yeah, okay, I can get it behind this because this seems like something Dalinar wouldn't be behind. But I think his son being super hyped about it made him more kind of warm up to the idea. That's my guess. Yeah. In the moment.
And before we get to the Adolin part, we do get that little brief glimpse with Kaladin and Bridge 4 lining up for the assault, and they're all wearing the Carapace armor, and it kind of goes through how it's all crafted, all the armor and all the
it's like intricate.
It sounds like it looks really cool.
Yeah.
Some of them even have like ornaments with smaller bones to make rattling noises and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And
Finger bones in the rib cages.
And the other bridgemen are just looking on in astonishment and admiration. They cheer for Bridge.
They cheers
for Bridge 4. Because Bridge 4 is saving everyone else's life.
Did I misread or hear that I heard there were soldiers in there that were cheering for him too?
Yeah, there were.
Because I was like, soldiers were cheering. I was like,
well, you think about it. This new tactics allowing them to lay down almost all their bridges, which means the full army can go across. Like it's helping the soldiers too.
Good point. Good point.
Before,
I forget
like
about
not
that.
all the bridges would make it, so they wouldn't have as much to cross on. But this new strategy is allowing them to like assault with full forces and stuff.
Right. I keep forgetting the impact it has on the soldiers. If the bridges can't get laid down, then the soldiers are actually impeded.
Mm-hmm.
So and they're like, you're putting yourself out there, not just carrying bridges. You're out there also creating a target for yourself.
Yeah, because the soldiers can't get across. They're just sitting ducks, right?
That's right. And they're just sitting there like watching decimation happen in front of them and can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Pythos said this when they tried the side carry, that was assault on the tower. That might have been right. That failed.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, I just remember whenever it was, I know something significant happened in that particular assault. I don't know what
it might have been the side carry one where,
it could have been. It could have been.
I was so distracted by the side carry itself that I don't really know where they were.
I just remember that tower thing was like a big deal. And the way it was described and everything, I was like, it sounded like it was something else, but they just didn't make it there in time.
Well, because if it was the side carry thing, that's why.
That makes sense.
And that was, by the way, and that was the other reason too why I did not think Dalinar was going to be on board with this, is because he was going to have to exclusively switch to Sadeas's bridges.
Right.
And this is not something that Dalinar has been on board with. He's kind of come around a little bit, but he has not been about it. He feels like you're putting him out as fodder. But then he's like,
it's like we have a new strategy, so like hardly any of them are dying.
So he's kind of like, okay, well, this new strategy, you're not losing people. You're not like basically, offering people up for slaughter,
right?
To put these bridges down. So he's more warmed up to the idea, but I'm still shocked that he came into it as willingly as he did. Yeah. That's just. When I was reading, I was like, he seems a lot more cavalier than usual, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he's been worked up to try new things, like see how they work. We've been having success with this, and you've already been using our crews to move faster, right? And you can still stay behind, like he's been warmed up to the idea.
Yep.
Pasadis is really eager to have Dalinar go on this one. You can tell Sadeas is like,
for some reason.
You really have to. For some reason, Sadeas is like really eager. He's like, you definitely need to come over and help. Like, this is going to be it.
We're going to have dinner later, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we're have dinner and
and then we switch to Adolin, and Adolin is shocked to learn. He was shocked to learn about his father. He was wrong about his father, and which gives him like the trust or whatever that now Dalinar, is not crazy, and that they're going to go in together. And Adolin's definitely cheering his father on. They decide to bring 15,000 troops, which is crazy amount, to go finish out the Parshindi for all. So
8,000 of Dalinar's and 7,000 of Sadeas.
Yeah. And Adolin's a little shook too, because it's like he's been thinking of his dad as being like going senile or whatever, and now he realizes, oh no, he's actually just as smart as he ever was. And he's like kind of questioning. It's like, oh man, I feel bad about questioning my dad the way I did. So there's a little bit of regret there. But all in all, though, he's excited to, join it with Pops and do the thing. And he's like, he's not going crazy.
And Belton probably brings a good point. Dalinar is also thinking this might end the war, which means no more deaths. So seeing justifying the ends, justify the means it just
that's true. But I mean, I guess the thing I was thinking to myself though is, why would you do that on this particular run? And I know the way it was explained makes it sound like you're going to fade out position a little bit more, but considering what happened last time at the tower, I would think this would not be the place to do it. It seems like you'd be more exposed. But that was me like listening to it because I remembered that the tower was not a successful run last time. Yeah. I was like, well, why would you use this as the stand? You know, why not? And they were like, oh, it's because it's closer to them, and they're going to do they're going to commit more troops.
It's the largest plateau too, so they can fit more troops on.
Right. So I get it, but it seems like a huge gamble. That's what I thought the moment the whole time this was being explained. I was like, this is a huge gamble.
Well, if they kept up with the plan, they probably would have been okay, but
plans change.
Plans do change. Yeah, I think it's because so many of the Parshendi were already on the platform, and then if they could come in, they could almost like stop them from going anywhere, right? But I think that was the plan. I don't know.
Yep.
These kind of things, I kind of have to draw them out.
Yeah, so the plan was, on the map, was that Satis would land on one side, and then they would flank on the other side, and then come across from the back end, and then kind of pinch strategy on the top. That was the plan.
That was the plan.
Pincer strategy. Which is
yep, that's it. Pincer strategy. Yep.
So anything else in this chapter before we move to chapter 65, the tower?
I don't think so.
Okay. The tower. I see them. They are the rocks. They are the vigil spirits. Eyes of red. A dark-eyed woman of 15. Subject was reportedly mentally unstable since childhood.
Fun.
Yeah. 8 seconds pre-death, by the way. So we get to the tower. We're there. Dalinar and Sadeas watch as the Parshendi army roughly has 10,000 soldiers, as they thought that was, and they're still trying to remove the gem heart, so they got there in time. Sadeas then suggests to Dalinar that they attack together, and this is when they had the conversation. And Dalinar's like, "Yeah, I don't want Bridgman being killed for me, so wants to hold to the code." And he says, if you go first and get him on the way, my bridges won't be, will be distracted. Then you can put the bridges up for me, and I'll go. So Dalinar will follow once Sadeas' army has already, put their bridges in place. And Sadeas agrees to it reluctantly, but he's like, okay, fine, whatever. As long as you come, make sure you're there. Yep.
Like, Dalinar is not concerned at all. And Adolin doesn't have any concerns at all either. Because Adolin's like, I'm full on trust my dad mode now. And he trusts this guy. So
I'm going to trust him too.
Everything's going to be
nothing could ever go wrong. Rainbows.
Exactly. He's finally everybody trusts Sadeas.
And Dalinar is all behind the voice in his head.
Yeah, unite them.
Yeah.
So Kaladin leads 4 other decoys to draw the Parshendi arrows at this point. So it switches to Kaladin, away from the bridge crews. And although most of the arrows are coming right for him, and he's doing that until all the bridges are in place, and then the army rushes against them, and then Kaladin goes back to help Teft and Scar, who were hit by arrows.
Right. One in the foot and one in the shoulder.
Right. And goes back. And Teft's doing pretty bad. But he's still all right. And there's enough soldiers still in the area. Make sure there's enough, because they don't want the same thing to happen again. So he hasn't make sure there's enough soldiers in the area to protect them still. It goes back to start operating on Teft and help him back. And
then put that blade on him.
Teft better be okay, or else I'm a riot.
And at this point, Kaladin's using all the stormlight, drawing the arrows in, doing the crazy maneuvers and everything like that. Is this the part where he takes all the arrows into the shield?
No, that's a little bit later.
A little bit later. Okay. Yeah, not yet. But he's still doing the decoy thing, and then switches to Dalinar. Dalinar orders a crew to be set across the bridges as well. Now they've seen Sadie's successfully across. So they lead their men to battle, in the battle along with Adolin. Some of the Parshendi start to target them, but they're easily able to kind of get there and get across. And Dalinar starts to feel the thrill of battle. But until he cuts down
the young boy.
Yeah, the young Parshendi.
So
and he
sad.
realizes he's killing kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything was still going super smooth at this point. Like the bridge drop down went super smooth. Like Dalinar's plan is going super smooth.
He's like, I can't kill the boy, and somebody else comes from right behind him.
Right in the neck.
Yeah. Before he can even say anything, he was gonna be like, no. He's like, nope, too late.
But he starts having doubts about fighting while in the middle of fighting, and thinks about the codes and the visions, and thinks about uniting them. Is like, are we supposed to unite all of them? The Parshendi too? Like, am I doing this wrong? Is this not what I'm supposed to be doing? Like, he's second guessing himself. So I mean, they're caught up in the battle though. They're kind of going in and out, and it kind of explains the scene. Like, they'll run into shard bearers, they'll dice a bunch of guys up, and then they'll retreat back to rest for a little bit, back behind the lines, and the men rush in and make a defensive perimeter and keep on attacking. And they can have these little sidebar conversations while resting to regain their strength and go back in, chop down some more. And it's this whole strategy they use with the shard bearers and the army together, kind of working together in tandem. And you kind of picture how this is working. I mean, obviously, shard plate does a lot to like give you extra strength. At the same time, you still get tired. You're still human. So in this big of a battle where you have to fight 10,000 people, 2 people with shard bearers, Adolin and Dalinar are the only 2 shard bearers. They can't mode. You get worn out after a while. Like just your body eventually gives up. What do they call it in a marathon? The wall. When you're a marathon runner, like, when you've used up every bit of energy and calories in your body, you literally hit something called the wall. And then at that point, it's a mental game just to push past the wall to keep on going. And marathon runners can tell you about it. Like, it's there's a point where you actually run out of your body.
Well, even better example though is, I mean, anybody who's actually seen a real fight. Yeah. I'm not talking about UFC fighters. I'm talking about average people fighting. And I've been in some fights. That adrenaline lasts for like maybe a couple minutes, and after that, it becomes sluggish, and you're like barely kind of moving, and you're like hands are starting to shake. And it's not. It doesn't last forever. I mean, it's not like you can go and like do it for like 30 minutes.
Right?
That's like an eternity.
Right? Yeah. I mean, even like 3 minutes is an eternity. I mean, they say in boxing that 3 minutes in the ring is like the longest 3 minutes of your life. I mean, it's
3 minutes of jeez.
And those people are like highly trained athletes.
Exactly. And they are UFC fighters, all of them. If you can do that for any period of time, you are like basically like on endurance. Yeah. 3 minutes.
Was crazy. Please. Like my ex used to really love watching UFC and stuff. And I don't really like watching the super violent stuff.
Yeah, I don't like UFC.
It was impressive. A lot of them. I'm like, wow, these people really give it. And you could see, their bodies want to give out and they don't. Sometimes they still win. And I was like, it is impressive. Even if I don't love the blood and the violence so much. Yes. That was just one sport.
I can do boxing. I can watch boxing all day. I can't watch UFC. It's just it's too violent. And then some of the injuries that I see, I'm like, nope, can't do it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Dude, do you think UFC? I mean, UFC is bad sometimes, but when I was in Thailand, I went to a Muay Thai.
No, because I've seen it, and I don't.
Yeah,
it is brutal. I probably don't want to hear it either. If it's going to be worse than
I'm just going to say it's brutal. It is brutal.
Nope.
Professional Muay Thai. Oh man.
Enough said.
Yep.
Enough said.
Muay Thai. Is that professional?
Yeah, Muay Thai.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Leave it at that. Brutal.
Yeah. As soon as I know that there's like a submission fighter on, I was like, I'm going to skip this one. I'm not watching this one. I'm not watching this fight. I can't do it.
In PP Islands in Thailand, there's a bar called Reggae Bar, and you can actually get in the ring and fight anyone else inside the whole bar. They give you the headgear, gloves, and shorts, and you can challenge anyone else. And if they agree to, you can go in the ring, and you get a 1 minute round. And if you agree to do it, like you get like a free bucket of alcohol because that's what they do in Thailand. But the amount of people that go in there with like no skill at all, and then you have a few ringers that are just like trying to challenge people because they think it's funny. And it's just so bad. You get these tourists that have no idea what they're doing, and they get in the ring and just get annihilated. Like,
speaking of which, I mean, you guys have heard of that show White Lotus, right?
Mm-hmm. I've heard of it.
Lotus on HBO. Yeah, so season 3 of White Lotus is on the same island where me and my wife got married, Koh Samui.
Very cool.
Because I was sitting there watching the show, I was like, "Wait a minute, I know that place. Yeah. Wait up!" And then I looked it up, and sure enough, it's Koh Samui, the island that we went to get married. Well, no, sorry, that's not the island we got married on. We got married in Phuket, but then we went to Koh Samui for the major part of our honeymoon part of our wedding. So that was
nice.
where we were at. So yeah, I recognized everything there. I was like, but I don't do Bangkok though. I'm not a Bangkok Thailand person.
If you've ever seen The Beach by with Leonardo DiCaprio, that's Phi Phi Islands.
Yeah.
That's where Phi Phi Islands is. That's where I spent most of my time when I was in Thailand.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah.
The Beach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I haven't seen it in a long time. But
yeah, it's an older movie, but that's where that was filmed. It's a really pretty beach.
Yeah. But, the only thing I've seen of Thailand was like back in the day, I used to watch Survivor, and they did Thailand Survivor.
Okay.
And that was the last I've seen of Thailand, and that was like I don't know, like 15 years ago at this point. I have no idea.
If you go to Phuket,
I watched the one that was in the Philippines. I watched the one that did in the Philippines. That was a place I had went to in the Philippines, in its most beautiful area, like outside of Bicol province. But that's the only reason I watch those things, just so I can be like, oh, look at that, they were in the same place I was at. It reminds me of like in James Bond when what's the first Daniel Craig one? Casino Royale. At the end of that, they're in Venice. Mm-hmm. And they're running around Piazza San Marco, and I was like, "Oh shoot!" It's like literally they run up with the area, and I can actually see the hotel I stayed at. And I was like,
that's
"Hey,
cool.
There's the little hotel I stayed at," and blah blah blah. So yeah, I like watching places like that because I'm like, I was there, I remember that place.
Yeah,
that's really cool.
All right.
I like doing that too. I don't have as many as you do, but I have some.
Well, back to the tower. So they're fighting. They're in the middle of battle, and Adolin comes right up to Dalinar. He's like, "Hey, there's a whole nother giant force of Parshendi approaching." And Dalinar's just like, "Why didn't the scouts warn us? Like, that doesn't make any sense." And then he turns around, and his heart just sinks as he sees Sadeas and all the bridge crews pulling back, leaving him stranded alone with a surrounding army all around him, with no way of getting off the tower. And
what an asshole.
He's been
Saddy ass.
The true snake that is Sadeas is revealed here, as he is they cut off his retreat and said, "Deuces."
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we end this chapter, with just Dalinar realizing that we're fucked.
Mm-hmm.
I hate him so much.
Yeah. Most people don't like Sadeas. That's an understatement. I don't never met anybody. It's like, Sadeas is the best character. Like, no, people don't.
Were you shocked about?
There's something missing. There's something missing here. So unfortunately, the narrative didn't quite ring true with me. Because Sadeas, either this guy is a master crazy tactician when it comes to this betrayal, or there's something missing that we don't know the answer to, because what does he get by betraying him? That's number one. I mean, then it was like the idea of uniting houses and taking somebody's land and yada yada yada. Let's put all that aside. I mean, he had every opportunity to indict Dalinar at any point in time earlier when it came to the assassination attempt, etc. So he's trying to say, "Oh, okay, well, I'm a level-headed, common sense guy," and then he does this thing where he's like, "We're going to take 15,000 troops out here, and we're going to betray them, and somehow or another, we're going to make sure that there's no possibility that our betrayal can get back." That's a lot of people you got to trust. A lot of people you got to trust. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that doesn't hold up in my head.
Because make sense if there's consequences. Where you think Dalinar he said this is like a tactical move on his part because anybody else that would think of challenging him would think twice about challenging him, right? And the only one that might say something is Elhokar, who's the king, but Sadeas has his ear.
You're going to tell me
there's like no consequences for him, even if people do talk about this. And the thing about him getting him like in trouble for like breaking the strap or whatever, or trying to do the attempt, that could be like there's still a lot of people loyal to Dalinar, like they'll fight for him. Whereas if Dalinar's just dead, then there's nobody that's gonna like fight for him really and like get.
You're telling me nobody's got a guilty conscience about this? I mean, these like let's just say 7,000 troops.
There might be, but also you got to think of the motive behind it. You know, what's Sadeas' motive behind this?
Again, nothing right now is checking a box for me. And I'm like, it just
money.
Yeah, and I was gonna say the only
think about it. What does Dalinar want? Dalinar wants the war to end. What does that? What does that mean?
Change things.
That means if the war ends, they stop the Shattered Plains. They all go back home. No more Gem Hearts. They all go back to their own kingdoms and squabbles. Sadeas does not want the war to end. He wants the money machine to continue. He doesn't want.
Fine. But the gamble though, the gamble
is extreme. Yes.
The better play. And I'm going to steal from the George R.R. Martin book, go out and do some boar hunting and, have this dude get slit like Robert Baratheon did.
And this might be opportunity
in Game of Thrones.
Too. And this might have been where Sadeas just saw an opportunity too.
It might not have been as planned out.
It might not have been. We don't know yet if this was as planned out or if it was just like Sadeas saw the opportunity and took it.
And so we're saying that all of the officers, everybody else in a rank of position.
No, I don't think they're going to follow.
For Sadeas, you're saying that every single one of them is like, betrayal. We own that betrayal. That's just a lot of trust that you have in your people. And Sadeas does not. He rules by fear with his people. He does not rule the same way that Dalinar does. Dalinar tries to rule with basically saying, respect. I want my people to respect me. They respect me and what I've done, my battles and what have you. Sadeas ain't that kind of guy. So I can see anybody ready to betray him in a heartbeat because this is the dude out here sending bridge crews out. He sows deceit and deception amongst his people and they're all like fighting each other. There is no like camaraderie between these people. I mean, look at the way the bridge crews are treated and then think about the way even the officers and the soldiers don't really like each other.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're all going to come together and cover up this deceit.
I don't think they will.
Well,
I can't buy it.
With Amaram
I can't buy it. So
and Callum.
That's the Alondo take.
Amaram was a small people.
It was small, but it was still people loyal to people. So, the thing about Sadeas ruling by fear is this is just going to show people even more, like, don't mess with him. But it's respected. They respect this kind of, like, brutality to people. Like, and the thing about, like, instead of just taking him boar hunting, taking him, his entire honor guard, his firstborn kid, like his heir, all at once.
Right? Oh no, I get what his plan is. Renari. I'm just saying the holes in this strategy are like gaping wide.
There's definitely holes.
Sure.
There's definitely a risk.
100%.
I don't think it's
gaping
as much
wide
of a
holes
risk.
to me, and I'm like,
100%. And that's where I don't know if this was like a spur of the moment or if it's actually preconceived, like whether this was like where he saw an opportunity and took it, where it is not well thought out.
Look, because here's what I'm saying, and this is the one reason why this whole thing makes no sense to me. Okay, they go out there with 7,000 troops and 8,000 troops, right? Dalinar has 7,000. Let's just say Sadeas has 8,000 troops. All of Dalinar's forces get wiped out, and all of Sadeas's forces make it back.
Yeah.
Sus. I mean, it's instant sus, right? I mean, he should have had like half of his people get killed or execute half of them on the spot. Leave them on the freaking tower.
This is a good point too. Like 20 years ago, the Lethi were 10 separate kingdoms. Malethi culture historically follows their high prince as the monarch. So Saudi's career soldiers view them as the ruler, not Elhokar. I mean, that is true. Like their individual camps view.
That's true, but
high princes.
But now who's trusting who the next time they go out on a run?
Nobody.
Now you might be thinking,
to see like what kind of consequences these people have to deal with. Because
I think Saudis wants to go back to where no one runs together anymore, because that's what happened in the past. No one was running these things together. There was no trust. There never was trust before.
Yeah, but again,
Dalinor's trying to build the trust and trying to unite. Saudis is not.
No, but like
I feel like this whole thing is very short-sighted. That's all I'm saying.
Too, because they there's a chasm fiend or there's an egg or whatever the heck it is on this tower, so it was very much like go time, and we know the other guys are already going there, so it was very like go. So I think this is an opportunity betrayal more so than pre-planned.
Yeah, but again, unfortunately, I just think it's like really not well thought out.
I don't think it is. Yeah, so I agree.
So I'm waiting for retribution to happen, and I don't think that this is going to work out for Sadeas the way that he thinks it's going to be. And I don't care whether or not. Let's take Dalinar out of the equation, and let's just say Dalinar dies out there.
Yeah, one can only hope.
And then Sadeas was like going to ride back with his basically full flotilla of men, let's say it like that, and nobody was going to question it. I was like, nope, that's not going to happen. And there's going to be an inquiry. Look, they had inquiries because the king thought his freaking like saddle got cut. You think there's not going to be an inquiry when they find out that like, all of Dalinar's forces were taken out?
Yeah. Well, Dalinar's been going crazy. Dalinar's been making really bad decisions. He's
Aelin
not the Blackthorn that he used to be, and
Aelin wasn't
all of his people in danger.
Yeah. Anyway, the whole thing sus to me. I can't.
We'll see how he digs his ass out of this.
How he's gonna get out of this bucket of syrup?
Exactly.
So chat's going on off about it, but Dalinar out of the way. Sadeas is the only one Elhokar will listen to. And Pythos said the king is a wet noodle, and Sadeas is the next most powerful after Dalinar. DK Moon says if it was a real war, Dalinar is valuable. It's a money war. Dalinar is expendable.
Mm-hmm.
All true statements. Yeah.
Elhokar is a wet noodle for sure.
Elhokar is a wet noodle, 100%.
Yeah.
Anyway, anything else from this before we go to codes?
Chapter anything else happen? I think we're good here because it kind of ends right there. Yeah, it's like it's a betrayal, and it's like, oh my flip.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dalinar's up in his head now, being all guilty and stuff.
Yeah. Yes. This is he hasn't started having the conversations with.
I think he had there was a moment at the end there where he had the thought and he looked over at Adolin and saw that Adolin also had the thought that
Okay, that's right. Okay, so it happens next chapter. The part I'm thinking about happens. Yeah. When they start actually interacting. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Yep. I just make sure I'm not getting ahead. Sure.
All right. So chapter 66. Code.
Yes. Code.
That chanting, that singing, those rasping voices. 16 seconds pre-death, a middle-aged potter reported seeing strange dreams during a high storm during the last 2 years. Weird dreams too.
Mm-hmm.
That chanting, that singing, those rasping voices. Anyway, so we are with Kaladin at the beginning of this chapter, and he's just finished working on Scar. And turns and looks and notices that Sadeas is retreating, and he's like, "Why the hell is he retreating? We're winning the battle. This doesn't make." And Kaladin's a battle guy. I mean, he's ran his own troop. He's a military person, so he's looking at it like, this is making sense. We're winning. Like, unless Sadeas fell, and he looks closer, he's like, no, Sadeas is right there. And then it clicks in his head. He's like, this is a betrayal. Holy shit. Like, he's like, this is horrible. Like, I mean, and Kaladin is no fan of Light Eyes at all. But even him is just like, this makes what Amaran did to me look like nothing. Like, this is
on a much larger scale.
Yeah. And Kaladin sees Sadeas unharmed, and actually, Sadeas passes right past Kaladin. And then even sees him turn back and look towards Dalinar, and what he says, said honor would kill you, my old friend, and turns away and just walks off like yep, told you.
Mm-hmm.
You and your honor. So
I mean, that part checks out.
Yeah. Dalinar switches back to Dalinar, and this is where they had the conversation. So Adolin yells at Dalinar, saying like, "I knew Stannis would betray us," and Dalinar's like,
"Which was all BS because he was more into this idea."
I know, but Dalinar's like, "Yeah, you're right." And then Adolin's like, "What? What do you mean? Like, I'm supposed to be mad at you?" But I was like, "No, you're 100% right. Like,
yeah,
I fucked up. Like, I'm wrong." And then Adolin starts feeling bad. He's like, "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like." Get mad at you right now, but we're all about to die. He's like, yeah, I know, we are, and this sucks. But
yeah,
I wish I would have seen this coming, but I didn't, and we're fucked.
Right.
I mean, they have this conversation. I mean, in the face of certain death, it's definitely a little heartwarming moment where they're like, well, at least let's go out with a bang, like kind of thing. And
yeah.
I'm not gonna die on my back. I'm gonna die fighting. If that's what it means. And he even gives a little speech to his men, and
there's no cheering, but they all like just get resolved. They're like, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna stand tall, I'm gonna go out here and just go out like a champ.
Yeah, so we'll all die with glory and honor intact. Hey, we're all gonna die, but at least we'll have our honor. Like we did this and we did it well. And Dalinar even thinks to himself, like he feels horrible for his other son, Renarin. Like he's alone to inherit, his kingdom surrounded by enemies and no army anymore. His army's being completely destroyed. The vast majority of it. So
and Renarin still doesn't have shard plate or anything.
Right.
So he's basically screwed. He's got
his whole house
after this.
Yeah. And it means weighing heavy on him. Like, he screwed up. He put so much trust in Sadeas, and now everything is falling apart. Like he thinks about the consequences of this. He's dying. His son's dying. His entire army's dying. Oh yeah, and then Renarin's not in a position.
Sadeas is going to come after Renarin's butt after this.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just Sadeas though in that situation. I think it's going to be like.
You're right.
It's going to be like wolves at the baby lamb.
Yeah.
Probably. Either way, their house is screwed.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this, it's a pretty short chapter, but the big part of this is the conversation between Adolin and Dalinar and that in the resignation that it's over, but they're going to die fighting.
And they're already tired. They're already worn out.
Oh yeah.
So they just
they're leaking everywhere. Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's not, it's damaged, but not damaged enough where it's like you can, catch mortal wounds. But they're starting to see like you can start seeing like the stuff.
It's a matter of time.
The way that they describe it slowly getting heavier and heavier and heavier, the more of the stormlight that leaks out.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
Yeah. I feel bad. I mean, they're like mowing these people down.
Yeah.
Such a shame.
It is.
He said he's already down half.
Right.
Because he was at 8,000 and he's down to about 4,000.
Yeah. And this is where I was going to stop originally, and I decided to give you guys one more chapter. This would have been a good stop.
Right. Well, because otherwise next week's would have been like really long because I looked at the times. And the times were like crazy long. It's like, well, it's much better to do this.
Long. Yeah.
So what?
The next chapter is like an hour long. So
this next one, it's like 55 minutes. So
but this next chapter gives us some hope.
It does.
So
yeah. I think this next chapter, was a great decision to stop where we stopped today. So
yeah. All right. So let's go to chapter 6-7. Words. Let me no longer hurt. Let me no longer weep. Diagonarithus, the black fisher holds my sorrow and consumes it. And that was taken 28 seconds pre-death, a dark-eyed female street juggler. Note
street juggler.
Yeah. And there's another one that's similar to another sample that was taken a year before. Yeah.
Interesting. So it was like a duplicate?
Yeah, almost, but from two different people.
That's cool.
Adelin's in DK Moon. Adelin's thinking at the same time, I should have stayed home and just played video games.
DK Moon, by the way, I saw your Dunny comment earlier, and I'm not falling for it anymore from you.
Yeah.
What about Dunny?
He said, just wait till Dunny comes back. And I'm just like, I'm not falling.
Get out of here. Stop.
Stop. There's nothing left to Dunny.
Oh, Dunny boy.
Could you imagine, though? Zombie Dunny.
The pipes.
And this is a tough chapter. Just, I always, this is always a tough chapter. Just because.
I was waiting for this chapter. Yeah. I was waiting for the TN flashback. I was like, I knew it was going to come.
Yeah.
So I had been prepping for it for like 17 years, 3 months, 22 days.
It's been 84 years.
Oh, I was waiting for it because I was like, I know you're going to try and do the tearjerker, kind of scene at a point in time when you're not expecting it. I was like, I knew it was not going to be a chapter flashback.
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to happen that way. So I was waiting for it to happen in a moment like this, where he was like going to be low and he's going to like just have this memory about his brother. And I knew it was going to happen. And so this just made so much sense to me. So when it switched, I was like, ha! Predicted that one.
Yep. So Sadeas and the forces are withdrawing. Bridge 4 is kind of lagging behind at this point, having to heal the wounded and being low in numbers. They're just not moving as fast as the rest of the army. But they cross over to the staging plateau, and the rest of the army keeps on going. And Mattel comes up and is like, "Come on, let's go." And Kaladin's like, "Listen, we gotta rest. Like we can't keep going." And he's like, "What are you talking about? You have to come with us." He's like, "Listen, if you want me to stay behind, where it's going to cost Sadeas to be late, you can go explain to your lord. But or you can just leave us behind. We'll get back. What else are we gonna do back here? There's Prashindi behind us. Like." What else are going to be like? And then, they have that. You can see Mattel clicking his head. He's like, yeah, go ahead. Stay back.
Oh, those Prashindi that are hating your guts because you've been dancing in the skin of their fallen brethren. Yeah. You guys hang back. Yeah. You do that.
Yeah, we don't want
to. Good luck to you.
Yeah, good luck.
Good luck to you.
And Mattel leaves. And then as soon as he leaves, Kaladin turns and goes, we did it. We're free. And they're all like, what? He's like, I mean, literally, guys, this is our ticket. We can just leave now. They all think we're dead.
Yep.
They all think we're dead. Mattel left thinking that there's no way we're making it back.
Right.
So,
and no one else is looking for us.
And we have a bridge.
And we have a bridge.
And you got a bridge.
Yeah, they weren't going to have a bridge before. Now they have a bridge.
And they could just loot bodies, get all the stuff they need, gem shards, everything they need. So...
Yeah. And Kaladin's like, the whole the whole bridge crew's like super excited about this whole escape. Like, yeah, so we're gonna do it. And then Kaladin thinks about it. He's like, but I can't leave the wounded behind, so I'm gonna stay behind. You guys go. Yeah. And they're like, we can't go without you, Kaladin. And he's like, no, I have to go back. I'll just wound me, leave me behind. I'll make my way back to camp, saying that I got wounded. The rest of you died. You guys will be free to go. I'll cover for you. It'll make the story more believable, and I can go back and we'll get out eventually.
Yeah. And Shen is still back there too. I like him. We need to get Shen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
quiet,
feeling bad for Shen.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's quiet, but I think he's going to be a good guy.
Right. And they can escape without fighting and all that good stuff. But Kaladin still feels unsettled about all this, and he can't put his finger on why. And then he sees Syl. And she's a regular sized woman now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's just staring back at the tower, just in horror in her face. And Kaladin's like, "What's the matter?" And she goes, "I remember what kind of sprint I am. I bind things. I'm the spirit of oaths. I'm an honor sprint."
Honor sprint,
which we heard about honor sprint last week's chapters very briefly in a flashback, saying the surge binders and the honor sprint wouldn't let something happen.
Yeah. So, but she's an honor sprint, and that's what they do is they bind oaths, they bind things, and they stick to honor. And she sees what's happening, and as an honor sprint is, I mean,
mortified,
devastated. Yeah, absolutely. And Kaladin looks back and sees the army too, and sees this little clump of blue being surrounded by Parshendi, and and thinks back to his father's words too, and says, light eyes don't care about life, so I must, so we must. Right. His father's words. And he's like, and he's having this internal dialogue. He's like, all those light eyes, Amaram, he screwed me over. Why would I go back and save them? And he has this whole entire thing where it's more just like, I have to because no one else will. Like,
yeah. Someone has to take the first step for other people to follow.
Yeah. Yeah. And he starts thinking about the ideals of the Radiance, life before death, strength before weakness, journey before destination. And Journey. Yay. And at that point, he turns back to the bridge crew and says, we have to head back. And not a single one disagrees.
I was waiting for like somebody to be like, no. What
they all know it too.
Moash
I mean, yeah, you thought maybe, but like they all know it too. Like that, it is the right thing to do. It's not the smart thing to do. It's not the easy thing to do, but it's the right thing to do.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I was surprised that everyone's just like right on board too. No disagreements.
Very quietly, very, very solemnly, just like
yeah, right.
Yeah,
but it's got to be hard to watch, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
you say like, look at all the dark eyed soldiers. Yeah, they can see this. They
can see them like just surrounded. I mean, to sit by. I mean, and that's the reason why I'm saying this whole idea of Sadeas's army is just basically like pulling out and like being able to look back and see that,
right?
And nobody have like a moment of dark conscience, creep upon them. I mean, that's near impossible. And I think the same thing happened with the bridge crew. They're like, it's almost impossible. That these are your countrymen, these are your brethren, right?
Right.
So,
yeah. So we switch back to Dalinar after this. What do you think about, before we get there, what do you think about Syl being big and the honor sprint thing and her being, the spirit of oaths, promises, and nobility is what she says.
I don't get the whole big thing. Why did she turn big? That part lost me. I mean, the honor sprint, etc., binding sprint, no problems there. But the size piece doesn't make sense to me because we've never really seen any evidence of that up until now. I mean, there's only one possible spring we've seen that's been large, and it was that one that was
in the water, whatever. One of
the water, yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's about the only one we've seen that's like larger than like a little tiny sprint.
Right. We know they switched sizes. I mean, flame sprints, they measured it.
Right, they switched sizes, but not like full-size human size, though.
Well, there's also those whatever things that Shalon's been drawing that are people size with the weird, crazy faces.
Yeah. I mean, are they Spren, though?
We don't know that yet, but they could be.
I didn't know what they were. I mean...
Okay.
They're people size with crazy faces, geometric shapes.
I didn't think of them as being Spren, but I mean, I guess they could be Spren, but I just thought them as being something else.
They're Stink Spren.
Yeah, they could be something else.
that makes all the sense, right? Yeah, so I didn't. Yeah, but
she's cosplaying Julie Roberts and Hook.
Oh, nice. There you go.
That's a good pull. That's a good pull.
Good cut on that one. Yes.
Tinkerbell being life size. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Who was it that was in Hook that went uncredited? Oh, Glenn Close.
Yeah, Glenn Close. Yes.
Yeah, she went uncredited as one of the Lost Boys, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because Yep. There's a lot of weird,
all the things about that movie. I mean, but that's Steven Spielberg, right? That did that one.
I think so. Dustin Hoffman, Robin Williams.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Steven Spielberg. Yeah. But if Steven Spielberg is going to put a movie together, he's got to have like some random cameo by somebody dressed up in like costume that you can't recognize or something like that.
Yeah. Right. I don't know. It was interesting though that she is big now. Yeah. It's almost like she's got to make a big point, so she's got to be big. I don't know.
You're right. And then she doesn't do it again the next time. That
she's back to small size again.
Yeah, so I'm not sure I understand why.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it'll become clear later on.
No, sure it will.
So we switched back to Dalinar. Shard played his growing weak at this point. Stormlight's, leaking out all these cracks. And Dalinar's getting, like I said, getting less and less, strength and weighing down. And the Dalinar continues to fight. Adolin's at the front line of the army. And he looks back and he's like, "Dad, look back!" And they see a lone bridge crew running towards the chasm, and they're like, "This must be a trap." Like, what? But it doesn't make sense. Like, why would you do this?
Right.
Like, why would
if there were spies or scouts to make sure they observed the death happening, they could do that from anywhere. But they don't need to run up to the edge of the of the chasm. So
and Downer makes the decision. He's like, I don't know if this is a trap or not, but it's hope. It's hope. Like we stay here, we're dead.
At least the word
we
hope,
go down there.
Here we go.
Yeah, but we stay here, we're dead. At least we can go try to get to them. And if we died there too, we're dying anyway.
Now this is hope I can get behind. Typically, I always hate hope being referenced because I feel like it's just so corny. But this is actual real hope. It's like this is like life and death hope. And I'm like, this I get all day long.
Yeah, and he's still unsure, but he's like, all right, let's go ahead. We'll make a push towards this bridge crew that's coming towards us.
If nothing else, they're not going to be in any worse situation.
Yeah. And so then we switch to Kaladin. This is the part I was talking about where Kaladin is right in front of the bridge crew and all the Brashindi line up. Like the entire army lines up.
Yes.
Because they notice the bridge crew running and they launch all of the arrows at once. And I just picture like from the 300, like the sky going.
I knew you were going to go 300. It has to be the scene in 300, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like
this is it's just
they're going to block out the sky with their arrows. I think is the line, something like that. And it's just like arrows on arrows and arrows.
Yeah. And he notices like that the bridge is exposed too, so he yells at the side carry.
There it is. Yeah,
and they immediately just go to it, and Kaladin pulls the shield up and just screams out, and all the arrows come into his. He feels like literally just gets slammed back.
Yeah.
And he feels something happen. It's like, and he's like feels like white around him or something or other, so he doesn't know what happened. And
then he looks down his shield, and it just
his wrist is hurting a little bit.
Well, because some of them made through and hit his arm, but
he doesn't know what it is at the time. He just he's like, my wrist is hurting. Yep. And then when he puts his shield down, he hasn't really looked at his shield. He puts his shield down, and the Parshindi are like, what the hell? They stop. They stop chanting.
They say Neshu Kadal, and they flee.
And then they're like, what the fuck? And then they flee, and then it's like a moment of I guess peace for like a second, and then he realizes his shield caught like 100 arrows.
Right.
It's
just like a porcupine.
Each other that arrows were going through other arrows.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Hitting the shield, and then of course a bunch of them went through the shield and got into his arms. That's why he felt it.
This would be one of those. I mean, it'd be cool live action, but even if they made this into anime, this would be an amazing, like
I feel like so many books have certain scenes that you just got to see, like in some form. And for me, it was definitely Fellowship of the Ring, the scene where Aelwyn, I think is her name, and she calls the horses on the water to come and like take out the dark wraiths. And I was like so excited to see that thing. When I saw the theater, I was like, this is what you come to the movies for. These scenes like this. This is definitely one of the scenes where it's like, it's him. He glows. He's doing the thing. And he just goes. And then just the realization that he like pulls away. I can't imagine 100 arrows stuck in a shield. I don't care how big the shield is, by the way. 100 arrow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That is a huge amount.
And the shield just disintegrates. I mean, because it's
it completely falls apart.
Falls apart.
There's nothing left. You know,
there's nothing left. It's been shreds.
Yeah. I think he did that a little bit in the last chapters too, but just not like this.
He did. Yeah, he pulled things to the shield.
He pulled a few. So it's like, wow, I caught a lot of arrows.
Yeah, he's like, I caught like 30. You know, it was like, but to catch 100. And I mean, but remember now, this is the rain of arrows, which meant it went up like this, and they spread out, and then they just all converged into this one spot, which basically, let's just assume it's a 1 meter by 1 meter. I'm just guessing. Shield. I mean, that's insane. He pulled it all into that one like little concentric little area.
Yep.
Yeah, and so they get the bridge there. They go to set the bridge, and at this point, Kaladin's so exhausted, out of Stormlight. He's wounded. He just lays down, and he can't even lift himself up anymore. Like he's just done, and he feels bad because he's thinking, okay, there's still a big force of Prashindi on the other side. They're heavily outnumbering.
And now there's new Prashindi that have replaced the guys that got scared away. So he's just standing there waiting for them to put the bridge down, so that way they can come get him.
And all you could think about is like, I failed to protect him again, just like Tien. And that's when we had the flashback. And Kaladin kind of like goes into a stupor and goes into like a dream kind of state, and flashes back to remembering Kaladin being, in this battle. Trying to find.
So it's the end of a battle,
right?
That he's in,
right?
And then his
squad is dead
because they've been decimated.
Right. Yep. And he's commanded to go back to reserves for reassignment. But instead of going back, he knows Tien's there somewhere, and he's heard rumor that they're like, it's like the Battle of the Bulge. They're trying to throw everyone out there. That Tien's squad is being, thrown into battle. And he's like,
all the messenger boys got basically split up, and now it's like every man needs to come out here and help battle, help win.
Yeah. So he goes to tries to find his brother. And of course, they're using the messenger voice similar to, I'm going to use this example. The Battle of Marathon with the Greeks did the similar type thing.
Right.
So during the first Persian invasion of Greece, before 300, that was the second invasion. During the Battle of Marathon, the Athenian soldiers, where you get the name Marathon from, because the one guy ran all the way back from Marathon back to Athens to warn, which is the exact distance of a marathon, and that's where you get.
And that's apocryphal. They have never been able to prove that, but that's what they keep saying.
That's what they keep saying. That was the exact distance of a marathon, and he died giving the message that the Persians are landing on the beach of Marathon.
Right.
The Athenian soldiers got there, and they put peasants and children in the center and put their heavy guard on the outside in what's called a hinge formation. So when the Persians landed, they would try to attack the weak side first, but the hinge maneuver allows them, the heavy armory, to collapse in on either side, basically flank their army and crush them on the beach. But to do that, you need weak cannon fodder in the middle, and this is pretty much what they're doing here, is using the messenger voice to do the same type strategy. It's a hinge strategy, which is super unethical and super not moral, but it is a real historical method to battle. So my historian brain coming out and telling you about how this is really things they did in the past.
People suck.
It does work. Yeah. So
war sucks.
Yeah. So
Yep. And war people cause war.
The worst.
So if anything else, you just learn that I just had to do it. The more you know, people suck.
People suck. People have always sucked.
Yeah. So anyway,
there's lots of good people too, but
there are good people. But
war sucks a lot. And
so he's going around trying to find Tien's squad during the chaos of battle, and has a brief exchange with another enemy soldier. And finally, Kaladin sees 3 messenger boys in the distance placed in the front of the battle as a distraction. Like I said, the hinge formation. And as he's running to try to protect his brother, he sees his brother and the other 2 messenger boys just get mowed down. He's too late.
Yeah, it sounds like one dude, one swipe.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And at that point, the cavalry comes in and crashes in from either side like they're supposed to. And, the formation worked, but at the cost of Kaladin's brother. And at that point, he just lays down with his brother and stops fighting.
Holds him for like hours.
Till his body gets cold, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough one. But
Tien didn't deserve that.
No.
He should be at home collecting his rocks.
He should be.
Well, the fact he got selected in the first place is just, that was really messed up anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It happened so fast. What did they say? He was there for like 4 weeks or 3 weeks or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, wasn't long.
Mm-hmm.
Kaladin's second battle ever?
I think it was. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kaladin's still pretty new.
Yeah.
So.
Man. Yeah, and he got stabbed in the leg too. He didn't even care.
Yeah, he did. He didn't even care. Yep. Didn't even care.
What, about the spear in his leg?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
He didn't even feel it.
No.
Yeah.
He just felt something happen, but he didn't really feel it at all.
No.
He was like,
He's
it's flesh wound.
Interesting. I got stabbed in the leg.
Mm-hmm.
I can find my brother.
He flashes back to the present and thinks he's been out for a while, but realizes they just set the bridge. So it's only been a few seconds.
It's like 2 heartbeats.
Yeah. And Syl's right there with Kaladin, and she's just saying, say the words. Say the words. And he's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but he forces himself up to his feet and grabs the spear. And as they're still pushing the bridge across to set it, so it hasn't set yet, he goes and runs out on the bridge up over the chasm and realizes the Parshendi have gems that are infused in their beards. So he breathes in and sucks in all their stormlight,
Wait,
healing
didn't he say
him.
the words before that and he got like a boost of energy?
He says it
as he's jumping.
He says it as he's falling, basically on him. So it's like he infuses he gets the stormlight from their gems in their beards, and then he remembers the line right then.
Yeah, and then the line just pops into his head. It's, I will protect those.
Well, that's right. He doesn't remember the line. He just knows.
Yeah,
he just knows it. And he whispers it, and there's just this crack of light explosion.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we end the chapter with Kaladin
flying
over
cliffhanger. And cliffhanger. Boom.
And all the bridgemen just like, holy crap. And all the Parshendi going, holy shit.
Yeah.
Right, because
going, holy crap.
Shit.
Because he's jumped off of the end of the bridge, which is not completely set. So he's like jumping a gap because they haven't hit yet because the Parshendi's still sitting there waiting. So he's like literally jumping off of a cliff.
Yep.
If you really think about it. So
these are pictographs. Like some people think they are, there might be prophecies and things like that. So, good thing Pythos pointed it out. Turn to chapter 59 for the pictograph for chapter 59. A couple weeks ago we read that, which doesn't mean anything at the time. So here it is. It says, above the final void I hang, friends behind, friends before. The feast I must drink clings to their faces. The words I must speak spark in my mind. The old oaths will be spoken anew.
Huh.
That was one of the
interesting.
That doesn't sound as eloquent as. This sounds a lot more eloquent than Kaladin would have said in the moment, but sure.
Yeah.
It checks out.
No, that was someone dying said that. So someone dying said that a long time ago. The subject was a light eyes, a 5-year-old child.
Oh, really? And they were like prophesizing about Kaladin?
Yeah. It seems that way.
So these are all prophecies. Okay.
Yeah.
It checks out.
Yeah. I'm like, are they all prophecies though? Or are they from the past? Or is there like a reborn
Or are they predicting the future? Are they like in depth predicting the future of what's going to happen?
Interesting.
All possible.
All interesting. Yeah.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Go back and read all the pictographs now. That's what.
Oh no, I'm going to definitely go back and do that because.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm going to enjoy.
That absolutely made no sense when we would have read it back then.
No, it doesn't. But yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
But as you read through the books and you go back and read them, like more and more. Yeah. Well, anyway, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good stuff. It's good stuff on a reread too, because you're just like, wow.
I don't even know if on a reread I would have put those two together. if she didn't point it out like that.
Because you have to. It's all situational. So I'd rather have go read somebody else's breakdown and say, well, this probably aligns with this chapter, or whatever. And I'd be like, okay, that makes sense.
Like that really helped. Like if we get to the spot that we read that has an obitugraph that has happened, and someone points that out, like that seems
sure. Yeah, I appreciate that because you're not spoiling it at that point in time. People. Yeah, guys, get on that. Step it up.
Thank you.
Tree has demanded.
I have made a demand.
She has made a demand. So says the safe hand.
Says the safe hand.
Which I'm not wearing my glove right now because it's hot. Don't tell anybody.
What?
I know. I'm not going to show you because it's secret.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
But it's too hot in here, so I'm naked.
I am shocked. It's hot in Canada.
Yeah,
well,
shouldn't happen.
It's not hot outside, but it's hot in this house right now.
Yeah. Oh, it's warm in the house. Oh, is it? Does your house thermometer stay like perpetually hot?
Oh, I don't know. They always this set the like I'm only here for a couple weeks, so I really don't.
Are your friends lizards?
With this house, right people? Now, it's very hot.
Are they lizard people?
What'd you say?
They might be lizard people. Lizard people.
Yeah, lizard people.
Yeah,
cold-blooded.
I don't remember it being this warm other days, but for right now, for some reason, it's like really warm. So, I don't know.
Are they crab people?
Crab people. Crab people.
Perhaps.
Well, that's how we end this chapter with Kaladin flying through the air and exploding in
with
light.
The greatest of ease.
Yeah, with the greatest of ease. Just with a spear in hand, flying.
That probably looks so cool though. Like if they can see the stormlight being sucked out of all the little beard bling.
Yeah.
Like all the little streams of
and going full light. Dragon Ball Z, like Super Saiyan, like just like
he's already gone Super Saiyan a few times now. So
this is like the next level. Like
I need to see Super Saiyan level 3, right? When his hair is like so long, it's like down to his butt cheeks. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what's happening right now. It's
that's right.
it's going off.
Super Saiyan Kaladin.
There is some great fan art of the scene. That is true.
See. I wish y'all wouldn't tell me stuff like that because it's like it's all I want to see is like fan art of all this stuff, all the things. Like I want to see the fan art of like the carapace armor they were wearing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some other things. It's like every so often something comes up. I'm like, somebody's probably made some amazing art of this,
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
There's another task for you guys. Find us some art and put it in the Discord.
Yeah, something that's not spoilery.
Yeah.
Hold on, I got one. Hold on, I'm gonna share screen. This is a pretty cool one. Let's see. Present, show screen. Let's pick the right one. All right, here we go. This is a pretty cool one.
Ooh.
The Barshandi down there, and he's flying over.
See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Just explain, so pretty cool. Got some cool art there. Yeah, find non-spoiler art. I just did. Cool.
I think I made a couple like concept art things. So I did the Shattered Plains once.
Okay,
and I did another scene that comes up later that we haven't seen yet.
Okay.
I think it might be in the second book.
Okay.
So
that's cool.
I will show you guys when that comes up. It's also very concept art-y, like something I started just kind of sketched and never really fleshed out.
Yeah. So any final thoughts on this before we move to favorite character? And why is it Kaladin? That's the easy one.
It's the obvious choice. I haven't picked him in a while.
It is a really obvious choice for this chapter, but yeah, but Sill's in there, and so is now Tien dies, but we still have 4 hours here. But yeah, favorite character. Let's go.
All right, Trey, I'll let you have it again.
Did I go first last time?
I feel like I went first quite a few times, and so I've been trying to do better by letting you go first. So,
oh man, I don't pick them as I'm reading because I'm dumb. Well, damn it. I think I picked Adolin last week. I like him again this week, but I think I'll pick. God, no, you go because I can't pick. You just go. You just do it. I'll think.
Oh, okay. It's Adolin for me this week.
It is Adolin for you this week. It's a good choice. For me this week. I picked him last week though. So
yeah, Adolin. The resolve at the end. I mean, he was super hyped, ready to go, and then we're about to die, but then like coming to grips with the decision that was made, the choices they made and the position that they're in and everything. And I was like,
yeah,
the maturity. I mean, and then come to grips with the fact that it's like he's been wrong about his dad this whole time about these visions, etc. I just feel like he just really had like a mature awakening happening these chapters. And so I like, just wanted to recognize him for that.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you picked Adolin. I want to pick him too, but I picked him last week, so I will pick. I'll just pick Kaladin. Fuck it. I keep wiggling around it, but you're right. I'm gonna pick Kaladin. It's between Kaladin and Syl, and I think Kaladin definitely carried it. Plus, we got like the backstory of Tien.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a really good Kaladin chapter.
My backup was gonna be Navani actually. Because I mean, she has kind of pushed the narrative about how much she truly does like Dalinar.
Yeah.
This isn't like I was lonely and you're just the guy that's around. And she told everything from her perspective. And it really just puts everything kind of in a different light. So I appreciate that about her. So
she was being very vulnerable and genuine.
Very vulnerable. I mean, because she is, well respected and all the things. And so she would have, she was like really, it was really close for me between those two.
That's a good choice too. Like, she was in the back of my mind, but I don't think she really helped progress this particular plot so much.
No, she only had
her, but I mean, it was really great character moment.
Yeah, she did have a great moment, like that first chapter. Then after that, she just falls off entirely. But yeah, I like that part. And then the fact that she's like kind of pushing Dalinar out of his comfort zone, right? And saying, totally. Hey, we can be more than this, and we have to worry about the strictures of the society we're in, and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So
she's great. I love her a lot.
Yeah.
She's good.
She's a bold woman.
Next week we'll be doing 2 chapters.
2 long chapters.
2 long chapters. So Esh and I would be 1, and Justice.
Wait, Alan, who was your favorite character?
Syl.
He says Syl.
Syl.
I was gonna say Sadeas, but I figured that everybody get mad at me for that.
That would just be too obvious for you.
Sadeas, I would pick Sadeas if I thought his plan was really well crafted.
Yeah,
I just think his plan is garbage. So that's the reason why I didn't choose him. I was like, as smart as you think you are.
His plan kind of is garbage right now.
I don't like anything about it. If it was like really well planned, and it's like he was like Godfather. That scene in The Godfather where he's at the baptism, and then the communion. No, it's baptism, right? And he like murders like all the heads of the 5 families, and it was like he did like this like well thought out plan. I'd be like, got him, gotta support him, but this just doesn't.
You gotta be an evil genius. You can't just be evil.
Yes, you gotta be a mad evil genius.
Yes.
You can't just go in here and just be like, I think I'm just gonna pull something off in the cuff, and it's like, nope, you can't do that. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It might work that way. We'll find out.
Do better with your sabotage, my guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Navani's gonna come after his butt, though. She's gonna be like, I ain't playing.
Look, if any of these guys escape and live, Sadeas is done. I mean, done. Because I mean, again, all you have to have is a few people survive, come back, and then have anybody from Sadeas' army corroborate the story.
Yep.
Done. And he doesn't have enough allegiance between him and his people to have them being like, yeah, we're not going to tell anybody.
Gee, Alondo, just spoiled
Godfather. It's like 1 million years old at this point.
The movie just came out. What are you talking about? That movie just Oh man, that movie just came out. You didn't know? You didn't know?
Yeah.
Any
I always
theories
forget that Navani's actually the king's mom.
Yeah.
So I'm like, Sadius has got his ear, but I'm like, this is his mother, okay?
Don't
mess with her.
Dude.
Don't mess with Mama Bear.
No, don't mess with Mama Bear.
Any other theories before we finish up?
Nope. I'm watching everybody. I trust no one right now.
Just nobody.
EK cracked me up there.
Anyway, so how you found us at thecosmoreads.com. I did renew our website, so
yay.
Didn't have the same problem I had 2 years ago where like I didn't, or maybe it was last year. I can't remember. At some point, one time I didn't pay, and we lost the domain for like 2 weeks. Do you remember that?
Yeah, but luckily there's a grace period that you get automatically, and they did that because there was like a whole thing back in like the
someone got Google
mid 2000s where like they would snipe constantly.
Yeah, they sniped Google for like 5 minutes. Yeah. So
now it's like they've made it so much harder for you to be able to do that. Good. I mean, I appreciate that, but it can't happen as easy as it used to.
Yep. You can find us there at the website, cosmoreads.com. You can find links to our merchandise and Patreon and Discord, social media, all that fun stuff. I will be doing a giveaway soon for us. It'll probably be on Twitter or X or whatever it is. I think that's the next one. Might be Discord. Somewhere. Keep checking. Somewhere.
Don't do X. X.
What are you giving away?
I probably a book.
A book?
Book.
Oh, I thought you're giving away my dignity.
No, that too.
Okay.
Is it for sale? I lost mine.
Sure. Why not? I
lost mine. I mean, you search part to find mine. It's I lost it back around 2004 somewhere.
It's just done.
Oh yeah, in a field, right?
Yeah, in a field somewhere.
In a field. Oh no.
I think
went
I
back
still
looking
have
for
mine somewhere.
Went back looking for it, never found it. Yeah, it was I don't know.
Yeah. My dignity goes up for the highest bidder. So just let me know.
We're gonna be found there. Do all that great stuff. Like, subscribe, all the stuff for the algorithm, and come check us out next week as we finish this second to last part, the penultimate part.
Yes,
it's the penultimate episode because the following week we finish this book.
Oh, so next week is the next last. Okay, got it.
Mm-hmm. So
that's crazy.
Come join us for almost season finale.
And then after this book, we go Arcanum Unbounded again?
Nope. Trust in the Emerald Sea.
Oh, okay. I just know we were going to the second book. I can't remember what it was, though.
No, he's making us wait for it. We won't be doing it till next year.
Okay.
I bid $10 more than Alan will pay for Alondo's dignity. Then you're paying $10.
Dignity? Oh, wow. So it was going for 25 cents. So I guess you're paying $10.25.
Oh, there you go.
It's a deal. It's a steal.
It's a deal. All right. Do all this stuff. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you for watching the Cosmere Reads.
Gosh dang fresh. Gosh dang fresh.